What are the must-haves for the Auburn Tigers here in 2025? Because I think if you're an Auburn fan, you look at what's happened the last 2 years, look at the roster talent, look at what you've actually accomplished, and it's not adding up. You got the Zach Galifianakis thing from The Hangover where you're watching all the numbers fly by your screen or your eyes, and you're just like, it doesn't make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. We're going to do our best to have it make sense for you if you're an Auburn fan in terms of what you need to have happen for you here for you to have some good vibes this fall. We'll unpack it right now. Before we do that, though, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. College football and nothing but college football all year round. And you feel that in the air. A little bit of that July breeze flowing through. You got media days around the corner. College football 26 just dropped the other day. The time is now. College football is back. I mean, I know the season's about to start, but college football is back. So we want you all the way dialed into all things college football. The best way to do that is by being subscribed here. So appreciate y'all for locking in. Number one must-have on the offensive side of the ball for Hugh Freeze and co. Jackson Arnold and Hugh Freeze have got to be aligned. Got to be aligned. How many times last year did you listen to a press conference or an interview from Peyton Thorne and have him say one thing and have Hugh Freeze say another? Or even on the field, dude, how many times did we see an exchange between Peyton Thorne and Hugh Freeze, like from the broadcast footage? You're just like, man, that didn't look right. Didn't look like they were on the same wavelength there, huh? I mean, the Georgia game is probably the most obvious example of that. The pick six against Oklahoma, another obvious example of that. But it never really felt like you had a quarterback and a play caller thinking the same thing. If that happens again in 2025, you're going to get more of the same. However, Jackson Arnold enter into the fold. What you hear about him is that the way that he just processes the game of football is different than Peyton Thorne. Peyton Thorne in his background, not to go too in the weeds here, son of a coach. Very much so a black and white thinker. Jackson Arnold, he's more of a gray area kind of guy, more of a gunslinger. From what I've been told, that fits better with Hugh Freeze in the way that he wants to call his offense. The RPO system is very much so you got a half a second to make a decision with where you want to go with the football. Like it happens very, very quickly. So sometimes not being super analytical plays in your favor. And so if that's the way that Hugh Freeze is seeing it, and he wants Jackson Arnold to just go cut it loose and just fudge it we ball, that's going to be a good thing for Auburn. But if it is this thing where Jackson Arnold's seeing one thing, processing one thing, and Hugh Freeze is doing the other and calling it for the other mindset, it's going to be, again, what I just said, more of the same. And it's going to lead to more frustration because if you're an Auburn fan, you're like, we have so much gosh darn horsepower, dude. Eric Singleton, freak show fast. College football 26 with a speed rating, just not getting it right. Another story for another time. He's real deal fast. Cam Coleman, first-round NFL draft pick in the making. Like you're wondering when it's all going to totally click from horsepower to quarterback play to offensive play calling. Jackson Arnold being on the same page as Hugh Freeze being aligned, that's going to solve a lot of that. In my humble opinion, number one must-have. For defense, it's kind of the same thing as the offense, not to be redundant here, but I think the defense, with it being 59% production back and the way the early part of the schedule shakes out for Auburn, you have got to be on your P's and Q's from the jump. It sounds like I'm saying the same thing here, but the reason why I'm saying it for the defensive side, Auburn will play their first 4 FBS opponents all against mobile quarterbacks. 3 of those on the road. Like Sawyer Robertson from Baylor, deceptively now, has got some wiggle to him. John Mateer, if you've watched him at Washington State, you know he can run the ball, ran for almost 1,000 yards a year ago at Wazoo. Marshall Reed for A&M. Even Gunnar Stockton for Georgia, he's got some giddy up and go to him. So the reason why I'm saying this, when you have some new pieces you're breaking in defensively for Auburn, and you play the kind of offenses that you're going to play and the quarterback, the skill set you're going to play, it places so much more of an emphasis, much more of an importance on playing assignment football defensively. Because you're going to see A&M do a lot of window dressing and have some read option games. Same thing for Oklahoma. And even if you don't see that, when the play breaks down, those quarterbacks can ad-lib. That places even a greater level of emphasis on having to be on your P's and Q's and know your scramble rules and know who you're sticking to on the back end and if you're supposed to continue to hug the running back or if you got a green light to go blitz. Like all these different intricacies are exposed that much more when you play a quarterback that forces more stress on your rules as a defense. So if you are having trouble getting all that together early on, it's not going to be a great thing for Auburn that first month and a half of the season. Those first 4 FBS opponents, keyword FBS, is going to strain that for Auburn here, I think, in a pretty intense way with the way the schedule is front-loaded. Now, during these segments in this series, the must-have series, we talk about offense, talk about defense, and just have a little commentary on where the culture's at right now for Auburn, or maybe an assessment, observation, a must-have for the culture. I'm really, really curious where the culture's at for Auburn when it comes to the confidence level. Because last year you missed a bowl game. The year before you just make a bowl game. Like, nobody's questioning the talent for Auburn. I think Auburn included should not question the talent for Auburn. You got 2 top 10 recruiting classes, 2 top 10 portal classes. You got more Jimmies and Joes now for the first time ever under Hugh Freeze. I think you have more of what you need to work with roster-wise. But having the talent, we understand that's just, it's a large part of the battle, but it's not the whole battle. It doesn't equate to win just because you got more guys with stars next to their name. And when you play in the SEC, you play a lot of teams with a lot of guys with stars next to their name. I'm curious, when you get to that fourth quarter and the game is tied or it's a one-score game, does Auburn have that confidence and that composure, that poise to go finish and take the win, to go have that killer instinct? When there's blood in the water, are you able to frenzy and get it done? Because that's what the great teams do. That's where Auburn needs to take that next step to be able to finish football games. And I don't want to beat a dead horse here too much, but we're gonna do it because, I don't know how many of y'all have seen this show or heard us talk about Auburn, so we're going to cover all our bases. So many games last year. The composure or the poise or however you want to phrase it, Auburn did not have in the most key moments, and that's why they lost football games. Turnovers is a way it showed itself, but like the Missouri game, Auburn's up in that football game. If they finish, it's a massive win, maybe turns the tide for momentum. At the very least, you make a bowl game, get to 6 wins. Game against Arkansas, composure, too many turnovers. Game against Cal, composure, too many turnovers, all those things. And so, especially late, I just wonder now with the lack of success, where's the belief at? Because you got to see it before anybody else does. If you want to take that jump from being a 5-win team to being an 8-9-win team, you got to see it. Got to see it. And I'm curious now with a quarterback who's coming in after a tough situation at Oklahoma for him, to call a spade here a year ago, a roster now that won 5 games a year ago. Like, just where are we at mentally? Because I think if they're able to have that almost corner-turning moment early on in the year where you get a win over an A&M or a win over an Oklahoma, and maybe it's a close win where you build some extra character in the process of getting that win, that could be just the snowflake that starts the avalanche for Auburn football. Like, once you can get it done early on in the year and you can prove to yourself tangibly, hey, we are a good football team, we just beat X, Y, and Z opponent, any of those first 4 FBS opponents will do, I think that could make the difference in just belief and having something to point to when you get in those close moments again later on in your schedule. If Auburn can get through that first month and a half, they're going to be in a good spot, but that's a very big if given the talent level they'll be facing from September through mid-October. But regardless, man, I'm fired up for it, man. I openly root for Hugh Freeze. I openly root for Jackson Arnold, given what happened with him at Oklahoma and how he handled that and how he bounced back strong. I'm excited for it, man. Very, very excited for it. But Auburn fans in the comment section, subscribe. We get to see who subscribes whenever you comment, so appreciate y'all for that. But in the comment section, let me know, what are your must-haves for this football team to be successful in 2025, whatever your definition of that is here for this upcoming season. For Caden Smith on the ones and twos, myself, Jody PicKell, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We will keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.